Darkness falls, and with it, the truth emerges. In a world where the line between fact and fear is blurred, beneath the surface of forgotten towns and restless graves, hide secrets soaked in blood and whispers that never die. From the chilling depths of true crime to the unexplained shadows of the paranormal, we dive into the stories that haunt both past and present. Welcome to Realm of Darkness.
We are live, Ashley. We made it.
Did we make it though?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're both here. We're both moving. The screens aren't frozen, so
It might be just us, but gosh. So, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Realm of Darkness, the shit show. Apparently,
the shit show.
Before we got on, Nate and I have been fighting for like 40 minutes with our computers, our audio, our videos. For some reason, nothing wanted to work right today.
No.
So we're a little irritable right now.
I had to reset. I had to reset my whole router because nothing was working. So,
well, I told you in the green room, I went through 3 laptops and I was ready to hook up my phone for tonight's show because I couldn't get anything to work.
Okay. I think we're working now, so that's all that matters.
I hope so. And it's funny because we said tonight that, with all the we'll say sad, horrible things going on in today's world, that we wanted to keep it a little bit lighter and we wanted to be fun and silly, and then we have all these issues. So
that's just the universe's way of telling us, yeah, I guess so. Maybe not. Just deal with it.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try to get through it. So please bear with us if we have issues, but we're gonna try. So tonight,
I have issues either way, Ashley. We all know that, but
but those issues I can't help you with.
Technical issues. Deal with the technical issues as they come. We'll figure it out.
Right. But so tonight we decided to do something a little bit different. And we were talking about all the different things going on, and the news is just filled with sadness and all this stuff. So to keep it fun and a little bit more lighthearted, Nate has no idea, technically, what we're doing on tonight's show. So we were sharing TikToks back and forth, and there was a question
as you do.
Yeah, as you do with your friends.
As you do.
And there was a question on this TikTok that I sent to Nate, and then it kind of became a discussion. And we decided that I was going to put together random questions and he was going to answer them. And then we were going to have a discussion about it. And the question that kind of sparked tonight's show was, with true crime and with all, murders and robberies and all this stuff that we do talk about, it always comes down to evidence, as it should, that gets convictions, right? And it's DNA, it's video evidence, it's eyewitnesses, it's all these different things that leads up to a profile or a portfolio of evidence that is given to the judge and given to the jury that causes a conviction. But the question that we had, that we were talking back and forth, is there was a TikTok that said, if you donated your hair to Locks of Love, and the recipient of that donation committed a crime, could you be convicted because your DNA is at a crime scene that you technically were never at?
Yeah. And that was a thought-provoking one, because it's not something you've ever, I've never stopped to think about something like that, because it is a thing. People do donate their hair, But, I mean, my answer to you was kind of, you would think they have documentation about where the hair goes to, I guess. But do they keep records like that? I have no clue.
Well, but with something like that, would that fall under HIPAA? And can you take
Mhm.
patient files like that? I mean, I'm assuming you could take
Mhm.
that kind of stuff to court, but if you donate your hair, you don't know who it goes to. So if
Yeah.
your DNA is found at a crime scene and you're being investigated, you're not gonna be
Mhm.
able to say, "Hey, I
Mhm.
donated my hair to Ashley, go check her
Mhm.
out."
Yeah.
And if there's no video evidence and there's no other DNA, all they have is your hair. If
Mhm.
there's no fingerprints or anything
Exactly.
like that, so how do you prove you're innocent?
Ah, the only thing I said would be, like, as you're donating your hair, I would assume they keep, like, records on file for, like, donations and who donated, so maybe you could track it back to that. But, like, how would you know where it went unless you're tracking all of that?
Well, and how would you like, so what I was thinking about is if you donate your hair, more than likely it's probably not gonna be in the same state, right? It's
Mm,
gonna get to somebody who needs it. So
yeah.
this could happen in a different state. You might not
Mhm.
even know you're being investigated.
Mhm.
And if somebody does say, "Hey, you're a murder
Mhm.
suspect," is your first thought gonna be like, "Oh, I donated my hair, you should check that person out?" Or are you gonna be like,
No.
"Right, I gotta prove I wasn't
Uh-huh.
there."
Yeah, I mean, that's when, yeah, I guess you would fall back on your alibi and where you were and stuff like that. Like, if you could prove at the time, like, "Hey," like, say they'd have to know exactly when it would happen or time frame and stuff like that, but, like, if you're in a different state, punched in at work, that's more of a, like, "Okay, well, maybe it wasn't him, like, what happened here?"
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and then are they gonna tell you, "Oh, we found your hair," or are they just gonna say, "We found your DNA"? Because DNA can be a lot of things. It can
yeah,
be skin, fingerprints, hair,
fluids.
bodily fluids. It can be
Yeah.
a lot of different things. Is your first thought going to be, "Oh,
Mhm.
my hair from when I donated it?" Especially
Yeah.
if it's years later.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not a forensic scientist, but I assume that DNA is gonna be with that forever. I don't think it just goes away, so,
Yeah. So
yeah,
those are
but
kind of the questions that we
that's the one that kinda sparked this whole idea tonight, so
Mhm. Yeah. So, do you want to get into questions? Because this is more of like a Nate show. So, you're going to have to give us your opinions, your thoughts,
Mhm.
how you think you would get out of it if it's a crime question,
Yeah. Well, that last one, how you get out of it, I
or how
mean,
do you
I guess
prove your
there's
innocence.
yeah, I guess you would, kinda have to follow, like, sequence of events, like, once they start giving you information, if they give you information, like you said, back it up with an alibi or I mean, if they say hair, yeah, it's you don't know, but I mean, if you donate your hair, maybe that's on your mind, but obviously I don't have hair to donate, so unless it's my beard hair and I'm not donating that anytime soon, so
You know, so off topic, they do have where how you can buy wigs? You can buy beards
Mhm.
now.
Oh, really?
They were
Mm,
talking about it on the so you can buy beards and like do instead of like a lace front, you could do like
yeah.
on your
Yeah.
face. Or I mean, that's a good idea. Hey,
Mhm.
it's making money somehow.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
okay, so here's another one. With
Alright.
all the technology in today's world, if someone clones your voice with AI and confesses to a crime, do you think that your alibi would be enough? Or how would you convince the police that it wasn't you?
Mm.
Now think, because we'll say, think about crimes that happen at night. You
Mhm.
know, most people are home, might not have somebody to or
Mhm.
to, back up their story.
Mhm.
So, and AI is a real thing and voices are
Yeah.
being cloned. So if someone
Mhm.
cloned your voice, called the station, confessed to a crime,
Mhm.
how would you try to convince the police that you were innocent?
Well, right off the bat, I would be like, "It wasn't me, like, I didn't call you." Hopefully, that kinda sets off some kind of alarm bell that, you know, uh, you're saying I called you, it was my voice, but I didn't call you. Maybe somebody be smart enough to be, "That was maybe not me." Like,
Well,
obviously, that's tougher to prove,
And
but
AI
so
is so
is
good that they can copy your
mhm,
phone numbers now too.
yeah. Well, the scary thing is too, they could copy like your image and into a video and make a video of you saying this. So that would be a little harder. Like just your voice, maybe, but I mean, I would assume the police would be able to get the video, and there are different tools to detect whether or not something is AI. So if it came down to that, like video wise, you would hopefully be like, no, it wasn't me. Check the video. I would imagine, because obviously AI is more and more prevalent and on the rise. Like I've seen stupid AI videos of like, one of the ones I see all the time are like, they've got like the TV show characters side by side with what they look like then and what they look like now. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
So like AI is everywhere. And I would imagine that's a thing like the police are probably more conscious of anyway now. So it'd be a little harder to prove unless it's like a face-to-face me coming to you to tell you that I did something, which, I've seen videos of people doing that too in real life. Like, well, I killed somebody, and like, just, it's tougher with just like sending a video to somebody now to actually believe anything. It's getting harder and harder to believe anything in general because of all the AI in the world.
I know. Well, and with this question, because I know that we've talked about some cases where, there are great police departments and they really do their work and they really dig into a case and they really make sure that they have everything in order before taking it to court. But then you have those departments that they just want a conviction. They don't care.
Yeah.
So if you were going up against one of those departments that they just want to pin it on somebody, they don't care who, they've got you confessing.
I'm gonna get a very good lawyer at that point. And we're gonna fight. That's the answer to that one, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I guess a good lawyer would be a good start.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a
that
good
could
start.
be your answer for most of these.
I mean,
gonna
that's
get
true,
a good
yeah.
lawyer. Now, some of these are paranormal related, and some are crime related, and some are just silly.
Yeah.
So, all right, okay.
Hey, well, you know what I could do? I could always, write songs about them and make lots of money, like Afroman did. All those cops in Ohio. Damn.
Oh, Ohio. Poor Ohio.
Yeah, that's
We
how
always
you
get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're willing to buy something from a yard sale that is stolen property, are you part of a crime or are you just thrifty?
Morally, I guess, if you're not a good person. You hear Daisy. You're not a good person to be with. Shut up, Daisy. Talking.
She's answering the question.
Yeah, she's trying to help. I mean, I would think if it's stolen, you're part of the crime. 100%.
So then if you're caught with that stolen property, but you technically bought it, should you be arrested?
If you willingly knew it was stolen, I think so. I think you should be. I mean, there are circumstances where, you might not know, which happens. Like people steal stuff and then be like, oh, I got this. You want to buy it from me? They don't know it's stolen. If they generally don't know, I don't think they should be charged with anything. As long as they cooperate and give it back and stuff like that. But like if you willingly know and they could prove that you willingly know, absolutely, they're part of it.
Okay, so say brand new PlayStation comes out, right? I don't even know what number they're on. Brand new PlayStation. Stolen. Yeah. And the guy offers it to you for $50. You know it's stolen, but they also cost like $800. I'm exaggerating. Would you buy it? Hypothetically?
No. Hypothetically, I would jump on it, but no. Only because they could track, like, if it's stolen, there's ways to track that stuff now back to you, or they could, like, lock it so you can't use it anyway. Like, look at iPhones and stuff like that. You've seen, like, new iPhone releases and people steal stuff right off the truck, and then Apple finds out the IPs and locks them all so they can't, basically turns them into a paperweight at that point. So a lot of
Okay.
electronics, that stuff could happen. You're just going to throw away $50 at that point. So
But now what if it was, okay, so we're going to go a little bit deeper. It wasn't
yeah.
stolen from a store. Okay, somebody
Okay.
bought it, they're walking out, they
Mhm.
get robbed, and then this person turns around and sells it.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you buy it?
so you could still, even if it's not from the store like that, they could still, like, say Joe Schmo is who got it robbed from, like they robbed the thing from Joe. He could get a hold of PlayStation and be like, hey, my PlayStation was
Oh,
stolen. Can you help me with it? And they could still lock it from there, I believe.
okay. All
But yeah,
right.
no, you'd still be throwing away $50. A lot of technology, a lot of technology is smart like that now, where like things like that you can lock and whatnot. So
Okay.
like porch pirates, like your dad said, yeah, like people steal
Yeah.
stuff off your porch, they can lock that stuff now. A lot of it, not everything. Like you're gonna buy a smart air fryer, you probably can't lock that, but
Yeah. True.
like big things you can.
Okay. All right. I like that answer. I did
Yeah.
not know that you could do that with PlayStations.
I'm not
So,
sure 100% if you can, but I it might be possible. Maybe it's
but
not.
just in case you wouldn't buy it for $50.
No, not for $50. I would think it's too good to be true at that point anyway, because those things are like $800 now.
Okay. So then switching to paranormal now.
Okay.
If something cannot currently be explained, would you consider it, does it technically make it unreal or does it just make it undiscovered? And why?
I would think undiscovered, just because everything to me is real if it's out there. Like, just because I haven't seen it, it's not going to mean it's not real to me. Like, look at Bigfoot. I've never seen Bigfoot. Do I think he might be out there? Anything's possible. I'm not going to say he's not real. Maybe somebody has seen him, but
But
I'm just
okay.
me. It's undiscovered.
But now something with Bigfoot, because
Yeah.
you know we're in the paranormal, so you're saying it's undiscovered. But now
Yeah.
something like Bigfoot, because there's so many people that believe in something that could
Mhm.
be unreal, could it be manifested? And then does that make it unreal or undiscoverable
Oh, I think it could be.
or undiscovered?
I mean, if it was manifested,
Yeah.
I still think there's still elements of it being real at that point, especially if more than one person has seen it, like the Mothman, the Bigfoot, stuff like that. There's multiple people seeing that stuff, but I
But then
mean,
how come we've never found remains? You don't like
that'd
this
be
anymore, do you?
no, I do. That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that one, because I do think at some point somebody would have been walking, but yeah, I mean, somebody would have been walking in the woods by now, seeing something. All we really ever see are like prints and stuff like that, like stuff that could be fabricated. So there's
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle there between unreal and undiscovered, I think, because some people could fake this stuff, then it's unreal. But if there's enough people seeing something and it's just not discovered yet, then obviously it's undiscovered. So there's a little gray area in the middle there somewhere, I think.
Okay.
I love
You're
Tom's
doing
in
really
the
good.
chat.
I'm
You see Tom in the chat.
yeah, where you say Nate's not real. But I
Thanks,
mean,
Tom.
you know, there's a lot of people that say that Bigfoot's not real, but there's a lot of people that say that they're just undiscovered. And that's like, where is that line? Because
Yeah.
you know, for the people that say it's not real, like I said, they're like, well, how come you've never found remains? How come you've only ever seen one? How come you don't see them as babies? You know, you don't see a little toddler Bigfoot running around. Like, you know, there's all these different things, but then people who just think they're undiscovered, they're going to say that they're interdimensional beings or they're manifested or they only show themselves to certain types of people or, you know, so it's a, I don't know, it's a weird situation.
It's definitely like a gray area there. It's not one way or another, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. So if it, just because there's not proof, but like you've got so many people saying different things and seeing different things, So maybe they're just seeing like a big bear or something, and they don't realize who am I to say? But there's
I
enough where there's smoke, there's fire, I guess. That's the phrase to use?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, there's been a lot of sightings of Bigfoot lately, like
yeah,
10 minutes down the
especially
road by
in Ohio,
from
yeah.
my house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But like,
if anyone's feeling froggy, you can come to
well,
Mogador, Ohio and go.
same thing. Look at aliens and stuff, and
Mhm.
for so long that was just the same kind of concept. But like all of a sudden now, our own government's putting up like, yeah, UFOs are real, stuff like that. Like, I mean, they try to hide it for so long, but who knows if they've tried to hide everything else. So
Well, and why do you think they've tried to hide it for so long? When, people have been talking about it for decades, why do you think the government hid it?
I mean, fear
You can be
of
honest.
the
If we get
unknown.
hate mail, I'm okay.
Yeah, I would think mainly just to quell people's fears about the unknown. To be naive and think this whole vast universe and everything beyond our universe, like there's nothing out there, is a little feeble-minded, I think.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, maybe it's something we don't want to think about either, because maybe there's another breed of alien or anything that it could someday just be like, all right, well, screw these guys, let's blow up their planet. Or people don't want to think about things like that.
Yeah.
We'll see the stuff every once in a while, but
Now, do you think that people have those fears because of Hollywood? Or do you
probably
think,
partly, yeah.
like, if we didn't have movies like Independence Day and
Independence
all
Day,
that,
that's the one.
yeah, if we didn't have those kinds of movies, would you still be fearful, you think?
Probably. I mean, it depends. I think obviously Hollywood definitely feeds into that, because like most of those alien movies are all devastation based. Like
Mhm.
they blow up, Independence Day right off the bat. I think they blow up the White House and they're going to blow up the whole planet and stuff like that. But I mean, look at the same like ancient Egypt, and like all
Mhm.
the things on the walls, like the hieroglyphics and stuff, and it looks like these different beings come and help them build the pyramids. Because let's be real, for them to build those pyramids back then in the way they did, pretty damn near impossible without some kind of help.
Mhm.
To me, anyway.
Great.
But who's to say what happened there? Like if aliens were helping them, not to say that's what really happened, but that's a prevalent theory.
Yeah, it is.
Why did they stop helping us with stuff? What did we do? What happened?
Yeah.
But like maybe that's
Who
part of
did
the
we
reason why the
who
government,
did we
maybe the
upset?
maybe the government knows, and that's why they've been hiding. Because it's not just our government that's kind of been hiding; it's the entire world that's kind of hidden it. Nobody
Mhm.
really discusses it, so there might be something we don't know. Something happened, so who knows?
Well, and there are people who believe that
Tom-
aliens are already like walking among us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know. I'm seeing Tom's messages.
Tom is definitely an alien. Yeah. Tom's got one of those, like, you ever see Men in Black and there's that little alien guy living inside the body? That's what Tom's got going on inside of him.
We should do a study on him. Okay. So then, kind of along that line, why do you think people are drawn more to darker, unexplained events versus like happier? Like, let's think, let's bring it back to like real life, like the Idaho murders with those
Mhm.
4 students and how terrible it's been. It's been almost 3 years, and there are still people posting videos, digging into it, researching it. Why
Like
do
us?
you think? Wow, kind of like us. And
Yeah.
if there's a happy movie on, or if there's a documentary on about a murderer,
Mhm.
most people are going to pick the documentary. Why
Mhm.
do you think people are more drawn to that darker side versus?
Humans have always been a morbid bunch. We'll start with that. Look at back in the ancient times with like the Colosseum. People would go to watch other people kill each other. Like
Mhm.
That's always been a thing. Like, even to this day, it's not, obviously they don't kill each other, but UFC and stuff like that being a real thing, like, people spend lots of money to watch people beat the ever-loving shit out of each other. It's just a morbid thing. People like to see, like, blood, guts, all that kind of stuff. It's our society. It's humans in general, I believe.
So do you think it stems from curiosity because 95% of the people are not going
Mhm,
to act on those? Or do you
mhm,
think it's more nature based? Because at the end of the day, people are going to disagree with me, but we're animals, you know what I
mhm.
mean? And
Yeah.
we have anger, we have the
Mhm,
same feelings as lions and all that stuff. I mean, we're just a little bit smarter. We'll say
mhm,
a little bit. Um,
mhm. They're just a little bit faster, so
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather be
So
well,
do you think it's a curiosity? Do you think it's they like to see the blood and guts? Do you think it's
mhm,
more of like a nature thing?
mhm.
Um, or do you think it's they like to see things that they think about doing, but they won't do because they don't want to get in trouble?
I think, mm, maybe it's a little bit of everything. I do think it's a curiosity thing. Like, you could hop on any basically social media platform, and, like, within 10 minutes you're seeing some kind of violent act, like
Mhm,
people just fighting. Like, people post fight videos all the time, I see on, like, Instagram or whatever, or, like, gun violence, anything like that. It's just
mhm,
people want to see that stuff, and I don't know why, but it's just the morbid curiosity in people. It's
mm,
to want to see. It's like, let me describe it like you're going by a car accident. Are you not going to look?
yeah,
No, I'm going to look and see what I can see, because that's just how we're wired, I guess. Or at least me. I want to see what happened over here. Like,
yeah. So
it's
you would think it's more curiosity.
yeah, I think it's more
Okay.
curiosity more than anything. Just because, like, it's not something you see all the time. So
Right. And I
yeah.
think I would have to agree with you from a personal standpoint
Hmm.
because anybody who knows me knows that I love my documentaries. I
Hmm.
love my serial killers. I love
Hmm.
that. And it's not necessarily like Dahmer, because again, everybody knows Dahmer. If you have to
Hmm.
pick one, that's my favorite.
Hmm.
Um, like with Dahmer, it's not necessarily what he did or how he did it. It's more for me why he did it. Like
Hmm.
I would have loved to sit in a room and just have a conversation with him
Hmm.
to see what in the human brain, like what in his brain was wired and
Hmm.
firing signals to do
Hmm.
this stuff. And is it something that can be preventable? Like, is it if he would have been raised different, or if he would have been in a different atmosphere, or if he would
Hmm.
have been born at a different time, would he still have been Dahmer as we know him today?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
that's where my curiosity is. It's not
yeah.
like, oh, I want to see blood
Hmm.
and guts and him eat people. It's more like,
Hmm.
what in your right mind made you think about
Hmm.
doing this?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
people people's curiosity gets the best of them with everything, I think. It's like we talked about the whole Ed Gein thing and how people were,
mhm,
like, walking into his house after the fact just to look at stuff. Like, they
right.
were they were letting people in up until, like, the house mysteriously burned down. People were going in just to look at, you know,
Well,
severed bedpost heads and all,
and
like,
he
weird shit.
what and Geen is another perfect example. Like,
Mhm,
would Geen have been Geen if he would have had a normal childhood, if he would have
mhm,
had a loving, nurturing mother, if
mhm,
he would have had the ability to have access to different, um, I don't not mental hospitals, but
help and stuff,
medications
yeah.
and mental help, and
Mhm,
would he still have been the Geen that we know today?
mhm,
Or
that
could he have somehow regulated those
mhm,
feelings? Or would he even have had those feelings if it
yeah.
wasn't for his crazy psychotic mother?
Those are crazy what if scenarios, you know? Like,
I
if he
know.
if you were Ed's mom and he you know what I mean? Like, does he follow that same path? Probably not, because it's a whole different environment. But that could have been just in his brain the whole time. I don't
Right.
know.
And
It's
what
crazy to think
triggered
about,
it
but yeah,
to start, like those
yeah,
are the reasons I
mhm,
like to watch that stuff, because
yeah,
there's been some I'm trying to think of one, but there has been some documentaries where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this because it's just
mhm,
so gruesome.
yeah,
So, but there
mhm,
are people that love to watch that where they're all
mhm.
about the blood, the guts, and the more
Well,
gruesome, the more they love
look
it.
at
So,
yeah, look at like just horror movies in general and people that love that kind of stuff. I love watching horror movies, but like I don't know if you ever seen the Terrifier movies. Those are some of
no.
like the most gory, bloodiest things I've ever. I only watched the first one. I'm like, this is brutal. So I couldn't watch the second two. But
Yeah,
like,
but there's some people that watched all of them.
yeah, they get gorier and gorier. Like,
Mhm.
and people like that. Like, I'm some of it to an extent. Like, I'll watch Halloween and stuff like that because the story involved with it too. Like, it's kind of interesting, I guess, to me. But like something like that where it's like, just straight gore, like any of that stuff like that, there's people that absolutely love that stuff and like are into it.
Yeah.
That's their thing. It's not my thing, but to each their own. But like,
Yeah.
there are people that like that kind of stuff. So everybody's kind of wired differently to like, if they like certain things. Do I think everybody's gonna do those kind of things to people? No. But could it happen? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Well, and that's a great segue into the next question.
Oh, see, perfect. It's like I knew what
So
I'm
it's
doing here.
perfect. So you know how sometimes, and I don't know if you watched the news recently, but did
Try
you
not
see that?
try not to.
Right. Well, there was a woman who she drowned her child. Have you
No,
seen
I
that
didn't
one?
I didn't see that one, no.
I believe, I might be wrong, so don't quote me, but I believe it was an Amish woman,
Mhm,
and she drowned her little child. And then when she got arrested, or when the police showed up, she said that God told her that he needed that baby and she was sending him to be with God. Okay.
mm,
So she ended up pleading insanity, and she didn't go to prison. She did go to an institute.
mhm.
So, with that in mind, should people be able to plead paranormal influence the same way that people can claim insanity?
That's,
Because because possessions,
mhm,
it's not like we don't have just one person that has said they're possessed. There
mhm,
are dedicated priests
mhm,
and exorcists. So there have been multiple people who believe
mhm,
that they've been possessed. There are people who say that they are haunted by demons. There are
mhm,
people that do believe that paranormal has an influence on how they act.
mhm.
So, do you feel, or do you think that people could plead paranormal influence like they do insanity in today's court?
Mhm. I think you could plead it for sure, 100%. But can you prove it? Good luck with that, you know what I mean?
But
It's a
how do
little
you,
tougher.
true. But some
Mhm,
people, and I know
mhm.
that they have tests and evaluations and things like that, but some people also believe, because I've had conversations with them, that you can fake insanity.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
believe that too.
how do you 100% prove that you did this based off of insanity?
Mhm. I
That's
mean,
the same thing as somebody, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you
it's the
could
same thing,
say,
yeah. You could say anything you want and try to but if you could
mhm,
prove it, that's a different thing. That makes me think of have you watched all the Conjuring movies, most of them?
mhm,
That 3rd one where, the guy was possessed and killed the other guy, and
mhm.
that was the whole basis of that movie was kind of the same thing where he was possessed, and I think did he get acquitted at the end? Or, like, at least, they took that
I don't
plea,
remember.
I can't remember, but yeah, like, how do you prove it though? That's the thing. Because look at the paranormal in general isn't really widely believed among everybody.
True.
So
But last show, we had Christy
mm,
on,
mhm,
and we were talking about well, some people call them step-ins,
mhm,
and you physically witnessed a friend who you know very
mhm.
well completely change.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? So
mhm.
things like that, channeling is another word that
Generally,
people
yeah,
call it.
mhm,
It is. That was my kid. I'm hoping he
Yeah.
didn't break anything.
Okay.
I just heard a loud bang. I'm like, ironically. But, it's like we have both witnessed where people change, their demeanor changes, their attitude changes. So I personally do believe that paranormal influence could cause you to do something,
Okay.
or if you're being haunted enough,
Okay.
or you know what I mean? So it's like, but I've never seen a case where that was used.
Yeah.
I have seen a case where they claim to be possessed and then they use the insanity plea. They didn't use a paranormal plea. So
Yeah, I mean, well, let me turn this on you. How would you? So you've seen stuff too like that. How do you take that to a court and try to prove it? Yeah, it's not
I
easy.
think it is not easy.
Yeah.
To prove.
To prove, how would you prove that to
I
people
guess
on a jury trial? I guess
if it was something that serious. Okay, we can talk about a situation. Tom knows because he was there, but nobody knows about this situation. When we were at Hinsdale, there was a situation where you guys fully believed that I was not acting right.
Oh, that
and
was Wildwood. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Or
now.
Wildwood, that's right. Yeah, we were at Wildwood. And you both agreed that I was not acting right. And you turned the cameras off and you took me outside.
Yeah.
And even outside, you're like, she's not acting right. Like, we need to take a minute. So I think in that situation, if something were to have happened, there would have been eyewitnesses that could have said, hey, she was fine 1 minute, the next minute she's, acting like this. She's being aggressive. She's saying things. So I guess you would have to rely on eyewitness statements or technology, Ring doorbells. A lot of people have cameras inside. I mean, I guess, and then a mental evaluation, because people are probably going to think, if you guys were like, hey, this happened and she freaked out, I'm going to go for a mental evaluation.
Yeah. And then that point, then it would kind of be going more towards the insanity, wouldn't it? So
because
it's just harder to argue. It'd be easier to argue insanity than it would anything paranormal, because
and there's a fine
more
line
people
there.
you might get more people to believe you with insanity than you would be anything paranormal, I would think, because the paranormal community is not the biggest, because there's really, in the grand scheme of things, we've all seen stuff and done stuff, but like a lot of people still don't believe it. Like so it'd be easier to convince people to agree that you're insane than it would be to you're possessed, I would think.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think it would be an insanity plea with the underlying paranormal, demonic, whatever that person was going through. So I do think there's a fine line, but I think it would all roll up to being considered insanity.
I would hope, if you were going to try to plead being possessed and all that stuff, I would hope you were still possessed, and that the lawyer would try to provoke the shit out of this thing to make you go berserk in court. That would be the only way you could prove it.
Full-on exorcist exorcism in the middle of court,
doing all sorts of shit. Yeah, that'd be the only way to prove it.
That's a jury I want to be on.
Yeah, facts.
I'd be like, sign me up because I want to see this happen.
Yep.
Oh my God.
You're gonna see some shit today, guys. Buckle up. That'd be the only way. I mean.
Well, and then again, okay, so even in that case, at what point does the jury then think that, it's smoke and mirrors?
That's true too. Yeah.
If you do not believe, if you're not religious, because not all religions believe in demons and, stuff like that. So it would depend on the religion. It would depend on so many different things. And then at what point do they're like, okay, this is smoke and mirrors. They're acting. This is absolutely insane. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it. Yeah.
Once again,
I don't know.
It's one of those things. There's a real fine line there somewhere, and you just gotta find where it is, I guess.
Well, and these are all situations I hope I never find myself in.
Nope, absolutely not.
So that's another great move into the next one. So eyewitness statements. There has been a lot of studies on eyewitness statements and how well people do under pressure, how well they're able to, because people get nervous when they're testifying in court. It's a really scary thing. Even if you did nothing wrong, it is terrifying.
Yeah, just
I've
talking
been
in
there.
front of people sometimes can be enough for somebody. So
Yeah, it's scary. So I want to do a little test with you. Okay. And I'm hoping the video works. If it freezes, it's going to screw the whole thing up. So we're going to try. But I want you to watch this video. Okay.
Okay.
And then I will tell you why after.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
So that video is part of an eyewitness test. And what it does is they have people watch this video and then they ask them questions and they see how much they saw, they noticed, or they were able to recall. And I have those questions for you.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Yep.
So in the first, and there were technically 2 videos. I don't know if you noticed that, but they kind of do it combined. In the first video, what was the name of the restaurant?
Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes. Okay. How many flags are on the street?
I saw 1, I think. Just 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
What color was the man's shirt in the front of the airport?
The jersey? It was red.
What was on the shirt?
The Blackhawks logo.
Yeah,
Chicago,
correct.
Chicago, yeah.
Okay, good. What terminal were they in?
I didn't see that.
What city were they in?
For which one? Are they
The
both
airport.
the same city? The
No.
airport? I didn't notice that either. I didn't look at any signs. I mean,
So,
I mean, if I could guess just based off the jersey, it'd be Chicago. But okay,
yeah, so they were in Chicago. Okay, so you got it right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you would be a really good eye. So with this test, they showed it to like 100 people, and like 70% of them got it wrong.
Wow.
Because they were so involved in what the people were doing that they didn't realize their surroundings. So yes, it was the Hard Rock Cafe. There was 1 flag on the street. The color of the shirt was red and it was a Blackhawks jersey. They were in Terminal C and they were in Chicago.
Okay.
So out of 100, 70 people got it wrong. Damn. So what they say is, can eyewitness testimonies really be used in court? Because 1, it depends on the person. It depends on what they're seeing, what they're noticing. And they're starting to do studies that are requesting that eyewitnesses be removed from court cases because they're saying that it's not a true, reliable source. What's your thought on that?
Do they give them like that test to see how accurate they are?
So I have to, that one was a little bit easier. There were a couple tests that were super hard. And like, I knew the answers and I still didn't spot it. And I was like, I can't be mean to him. Let's do an easier one.
Okay.
But, but so you mean like for an eyewitness on a case, they do not do the test.
They don't do that. Okay.
They don't do those kinds of tests. But they also say that fear, stress, adrenaline can all have an effect on how somebody perceives information and how the brain like receives it. So they're saying that depending on your emotions, depending on if you talk to anybody right after the crime and all of that, that memories can be altered and implanted. And they're saying that eyewitnesses should not be as trustworthy as they are in today's cases.
Yeah, especially if they are talking to each other, because then they're comparing things, and somebody might have it wrong, but they're both like, oh yeah, 100%. Like I could see that being a thing, but what else do you use for like some evidence, like you want
Right.
somebody that was there to tell that story,
Mhm.
but you're not going to get
Well,
everything right. That's true. I mean, you
right.
you see as much as you can, but sometimes you
Yeah,
might be, well, yeah, they did this, but no, they didn't really do that. Like, who knows?
well,
It is harder to use people.
in one of the studies, I did one of the tests I was going to do is they had like a mock crime.
Mhm.
And it was this guy, and he was robbing a bank, ironically. And the phone rang. He answered the phone. He turned around and he ran out. And they showed a class of people this video. And then they showed them the lineup and told them all, and it was like 8 people. And
Mhm.
they're like, write down who did it.
Mhm.
And they all picked different numbers. And the guy who did it wasn't even in the lineup.
That's crazy.
So it shows that when you're put, and they were saying, when things like this happen, you're so wrapped up in what's going on. And now they looked similar. Like they, had dark hair and maybe had a
Mhm.
beard. But the person who actually committed the crime was not in the lineup.
Mhm.
And, all these students out of 8 people, I think there was like 3 that had the most like votes,
Mhm.
and none of them did it. So that right there shows that if this crime happened and all these people
Yep.
were there, these 3 innocent people could be convicted of a crime that they didn't do.
And look how many people get released from prison after 20 years for a crime they didn't commit.
hmm
I mean, sadly, it could happen, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't that insane? So
that
it's
is
things
insane.
like that. Yeah, it's things like
Mhm.
that make me wonder.
Mhm.
And they always say be aware of your surroundings.
Surround it,
If
yeah.
something doesn't seem right,
Mhm.
if you notice it, watch it. Like those
Mhm.
kinds of
Yeah.
things. But like with you, when we were talking about the bank robbery, I was like, I can't remember if it was a ski mask or a paintball mask. And I
Mhm.
was physically there. I physically saw them.
Yeah.
And I could not recall exactly what kind of mask it was.
Mhm.
So it's things like that where
Yeah.
it's like, if
You're
my hands or if my life
Mhm.
depended on it, I would want if I was the guilty one,
Mhm.
I would want the eyewitness. I want them out. I'd be like, how
Yeah.
reliable are they?
Yeah. I mean, in the chat, the trauma and stuff like that, and how that plays
Mhm.
into the things people remember or think they saw and stuff like that. That's a real thing as well. So,
And it also depends on how they're interrogated, because there's there's videos out there where a detective will be like, well, what color hat was the guy wearing? Was it red? And they
Mhm.
say, yeah, it was red,
Yeah, you could be swayed.
but the hat was actually blue. And you
Yeah.
can, not that they're being manipulated, but they can be swayed just
Mhm.
by the way that something's asked.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of
Yeah.
you. You did pretty good. If there's ever a crime, I hope you're around.
Facts. I mean,
Unless I'm the one doing it.
you should have. My whole process doing that, I was like looking at everything. Somebody walked by, check them real quick, then look somewhere else. I was just all over
Mhm.
the place. 'Cause I
But
knew you
on
were
a
probably
normal
going to
day,
ask
would you
questions.
do that?
That's the thing. Do you? No.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of figured you were about to ask me some questions, so I kind of had to look at everything. And even then,
Yeah.
though, look, I still missed like terminals and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
didn't see everything. So, I mean, that kind of proves that as well. Like, I mean, I got a lot of it right, but did I get it all right? No.
Right. Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else I got on this side over here. Okay. I think this is a good one because I know that you are all about cults, and one of your
Mhm.
favorite episodes that we did was about a cult.
Mhm.
So, if someone is manipulated psychologically,
Mhm.
chemically, physically, or otherwise
Mhm.
into committing a crime, where should the responsibility and the guilt conviction lay? Or lie, I guess would be the right term.
I mean, I think it lies with the person that did it, yes. But at the same time, I think you still could probably go after whoever's leading them to do these things as well. Like, just right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Manson and the Manson family
Mhm.
and all that stuff, where he didn't actually kill some of the people he got, put in jail for, because he instructed these people to do that. So, I mean, I guess in a way is a cult. I would pretty much think, because he was the leader,
Yes.
and it was a cult mentality. But like, yeah, he didn't physically go and kill, Sharon Tate and, everybody else at that house, but he was 100% the leader of the thing in doing it. So yeah, I think it still comes back to him if they could prove that he was the one that like put him up to it and told him to do it, just because that's what he wanted. Yeah, 100%. I think if say John Jones didn't kill himself too in Jonestown, but he instructed all these other people to kill themselves, yeah, he 100%, it's on him. Like
and that was the one I was going to ask. So would you, in that situation, say he didn't die, and the people who made and the people who made the drink didn't die, would you convict him?
Yeah.
Would you convict the people who, we'll say, made the Kool-Aid, or would you convict all of them? Because technically the people made it, but just because I make it doesn't mean you have to drink it. And if I'm not telling you to drink it, I just made it and handed it to you. He's the one convincing you to drink it. Does that put guilt on me?
I think, if anything, because you knew to some extent what was going to happen. I think,
yes,
if you made this and they were going to drink it, you would be more of an accomplice.
Okay.
And not quite full on. I would give him like full murder charges on all of that, because he's the one that put that out there.
But now,
and I would make them like
an
accomplice, or what is the accessory to murder? Something like that.
Murder.
Like, yeah, something of a lesser value, but still.
But now, playing devil's advocate, those people who made the Kool-Aid and handed it out, could they say, I was scared? If I didn't do it, he was going to kill me.
Yeah. And that's a real thing, because look at what happened to the people trying to leave who got shot. So,
right.
I mean, you could potentially, in my eyes, fight that, I guess.
So then would it be not necessarily kidnapping, but I mean, technically a form, but if they're telling you, if they're in court and they're saying, listen, like, I didn't want to do this. I did it because he said if I didn't, he was going to kill me. Would you still convict them as an accessory, or would you let them go? And at what point do you believe them?
I mean,
is this too much thinking after a long day of work?
No.
I picked the worst day to do this to you.
I like that. It's good, because there are ways. If you could prove that you were really fearful, and honestly, I think you have reason to believe somebody at that point, because look at, like you said, the people that are trying to leave that get shot in the airport. Like, there's already a precedent there. Like, they're gonna kill you if you don't do what they want anyway. So, well, I mean, I think in that situation, you could probably fight. You could probably fight it and win. Yeah. And
my question is, could that technically fall under self-defense? Because it's one of those, it's you or me situation. So if I don't pull the trigger first, then I'm dead. So could that be, a self-defense or a self-preservation or,
Yeah, there's ways to fight it, I think.
I would love legally to get a judge on the show and ask questions like this.
I know. That'd be a crazy one. But yeah, like,
all of my years of arguing I'm like, these are things I think about. Yeah. And oh gosh, it completely slipped my mind. There is a case, and I forget. It was in Texas, and this is kind of morbid. There was a father who walked in on another man raping his 8-year-old daughter. The father beat this man to death with his bare hands. And they were trying to charge him with murder.
Yeah.
Do you believe he was in the right, or do you believe he's guilty?
I mean,
lawfully,
the fine line between,
not morally.
the fine line between lawfully and morally there. Yeah. If I saw it, I'm beating the fuck out of somebody. I mean, beating, excuse my language. Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and let it just happen. I'm definitely going to, man's not going to walk out. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But legally, it depends on where you're at too, I guess, because look at some of the crazy laws in Texas. Yeah.
So it was in his house. I want to say
Texas has weird laws like the stand your ground stuff like that. So
true.
I mean, it's a little. You probably could have got away with anything there because I've seen some shit. So
yeah.
But I mean, it depends on where you're at.
Right. Well, and I will say, this was years ago, I believe he was found not guilty. So the jury said that he was justified in his actions for protecting a minor or something, in legal terms. And I agree with it, because if there's a person who cannot protect themselves, I believe that you are allowed to stand up for them and you can protect them. Yeah. Just like, if somebody had a knife to my throat and you shot them, lawfully, you're protecting, so he was found innocent, but in those situations it could be very sticky, because I think when we were younger there was a case where a man was trying to break into a house, fell through a skylight, fell on a knife, and then sued the family for getting stabbed in the leg.
And he won, right?
And he won. And it was, they were like, well, you shouldn't have left the knife on the counter. Well, you shouldn't be trying to break in my house.
It's my fucking house. I'm going to leave my stuff where I want. You're going to come into my house and trip over my dog? You're going to sue me for it?
Right. Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Okay. So then we'll say last question. Okay. And then we can just talk about whatever if you want. So last question. Would you rather let a guilty person go free or risk imprisoning an innocent person based solely on circumstantial evidence?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because if it's circumstantial and you can't prove it, are they really guilty? Or is that just like the hypothetical? You're saying they are guilty, but you can't prove it.
If you're a juror, you don't know.
Yeah.
So would you risk, so say they were guilty. Would you rather let a guilty person go free or risk them being innocent and spending the rest of their life in jail? And all you have no solid evidence. It's all circumstantial. So no DNA, no video, no audio, strictly circumstantial. So
I can kind of speak because I've been on a couple of years ago. I was on grand jury, which that's where you go. That's the first step in the legal system to whether or not you go to trial. So basically, that was our job to prove, like, people, the DAs would come to us, and there's like 15 of us in this room. I was on grand jury for a whole month. It was a process, but they'd come in.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it was kind of. I had to do it twice overall. What? Like I did it like when I was right out of high school, and for some reason, instead of just getting a regular jury duty, they sent me a grand jury a second time. So I did it twice now.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, the DAs would come in and they would go over what happened, and then they'd present you their evidence, and then if there was enough evidence there, we would vote on the end. Like it wasn't whether or not they were guilty or not. That wasn't what for us to decide. It was if there's enough for them to take it to the next level. So I think there's kind of already like a check there at that point. Like, I don't think you're going to trial if there's not enough evidence there, because based off of like me being on grand jury, there was one or two times where like, yeah, sure, like it looks weird, but is there evidence there? There wasn't enough evidence, so we had to say no, don't take him to trial, because there's not enough there for us to even think that it could be possible, or like, obviously it's weird, but there's not enough there. Like, I don't think there's you're reaching for straws that. So yeah, like just from that point of view, because I've already kind of done that and I kind of know there are checks. So a lot of times they don't, if there's not enough evidence anyway, or enough to argue, it's not going past a certain level. So
now, do you think it would still meet those checks if it was a national advertised type of case. Like,
I
let's say
mean,
back to the Idaho.
mhm,
If Brian's fingerprints or DNA was not on the knife sheath,
mhm.
but there was all the other stuff, do you think it could have gone to trial? Because technically your phone pinging, my phone
Yeah.
could ping within an hour of where I live because I'm all
Uh-huh.
over the place. So
Mhm.
that's not enough evidence to say
Yeah.
that a
Mm-mm.
crime happened.
Yeah.
Like we just had a shooting on the
Mhm.
road I work on. So it's
Yeah.
like, my phone's pinging there all the time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
okay, so he went to the restaurant that one of them worked at. It's like, at what point are
Mhm.
you grasping for
Yeah.
evidence to just pin it on somebody? Now,
Yeah.
that case is different because they had the
Yeah.
DNA, but
If they didn't have the DNA and they were just pinging that stuff, I don't think you have enough. I don't think you send it to the next level. I don't. It'd be, you might, depending, but it's tougher because like you said, it's all circumstantial. Like, maybe I was just out for a drive. You can't, like, I can't drive my car. I can't go here. I can't go there.
yeah. So then with you being on a grand jury, let me ask you
Mhm.
this, because,
Yes.
somebody who doesn't follow crime and watch the things like we do,
Mhm.
there are people out there who believe or who think that circumstantial evidence is evidence.
Yeah.
They don't understand that it's
Mhm.
circumstantial, even though it's in
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah.
When you were on the grand jury, did they
Mhm.
explain to you what evidence versus circumstantial meant?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. They so generally before each case, the lawyers and the DA would come in, say this is the case of blank versus blank or Niagara County, whatever, blah blah blah, and then they would, like, these are the things we want you to look at, and then
But
they would
did they
tell
say
you
it's not solidified evidence?
some of it. They would say this is not admissible for
Oh,
this, or
okay.
they wouldn't even tell you something like that. They would only give you, like, certain facts. They wouldn't give you everything because you didn't need to know everything. It was just if there was enough with the few things they had. Um,
So
but if it was circumstantial, they'd tell you this is circumstantial. Don't use it in um
your
your
decision.
decision making process. Yeah.
Do you think them leaving things out of cases could sway one way or the other? And I ask this because I'm trying to think of the name of the
As far
case.
as grand jury,
Yes,
or just
because there
Mhm,
have been cases, we'll say like a domestic violence case. This
mhm,
is just me hypothetically.
mhm,
There's a domestic violence case. Okay. There's a woman who shot her husband,
mhm,
and there's video of her calling people and telling them that this abuse is going on.
mhm,
Um, and she's scared for her life.
mhm,
But they won't let that go in court. They withhold it.
mhm.
Could
Yeah,
that
that's
sway a decision? Because I have seen, I'm
mhm,
going to go watch all the documentaries. I have seen
mhm,
cases where they do that, where there is evidence,
mhm.
or I shouldn't say it would be circumstantial, but
Yeah.
it's backing evidence. There's
Mhm,
things of why somebody acted this way or
mhm,
why this murder happened. Um,
mhm,
like the Mendez brothers,
mhm.
they were
But
abused.
I
You
mean,
know, like
if
there's
you're
certain
talking
things that
like,
were left out that I think could
yeah.
sway the jury.
I mean, if you brought witnesses forward to testify of, like, the treatment and stuff like that, that's a little more than just, like, them saying it, I guess. Like, if you brought somebody to the stand and be like, could you describe so and so's relationship? Like, like, go on those sort of questions like that where, like,
Mhm.
um, did you see any times where so and so hit so and so, stuff like that. Like, I mean, if you could bring somebody in and it's I mean, that goes back to the last question though, where, like, you had me watching the video and picking stuff
Mhm.
out. So it's all these questions are, they're all kind of the same almost, but
Mhm. It really makes you
mhm,
question, like,
yeah,
I mean, me personally, I'm like, I never want to end up in court because
nope,
these are all things that where you're like, it depends on the day. It depends, it, and there's so many fine lines
Mhm.
in between some of these
Mhm.
things where it's like
Yeah.
they should be more defined because it's somebody's
Mhm.
life, depending
Yeah.
on the case. It's somebody's life. And
Mhm.
it's like, I think if there was evidence that was given to either side, okay, defense, prosecute, either side, I think every single thing should be viewed or seen in court by the jury so that they can make the best educated guess possible
Mhm.
or decision. I don't want to say
Yeah.
guess, that's bad.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if it was important enough for the detectives,
Mhm.
the prosecutor, anybody involved, if it was important enough for them to see it, view it, and
Mhm.
have it, it should make its way into the courtroom,
Mhm.
no matter what.
Yeah, I agree,
Because if
but
I hear, oh, this woman shot her husband and he was having an affair and blah blah blah, I'm gonna be like,
Mhm.
oh, send her to jail. But it's like, oh, but he's
Mhm.
beat her 25.
Mhm.
Like that's exaggerating, but it's things
Yeah.
like that where I'm like, I think when they withhold information or they don't give all of it to the jury, I
Mhm.
think it's BS.
Mhm. So my thing, I guess, with that, you said he beat her 25 times. Were the cops ever called on that? Is there like a paper trail or no? It's just the
But
stories.
but a lot of domestic abuse,
Mhm.
those
Don't get
abused
called.
partners, because it goes both ways, it is men
Yep.
and women that get
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
abused, they fear calling the
Mhm.
police
Yeah.
because in reality, domestic violence, okay, you get arrested, you're out the next morning.
Yeah.
So is the consequence of calling the police going to be worse,
Mhm.
taking it and then
Mhm.
dealing with, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so there are a lot of victims that don't call the police
Mhm.
because the aftermath is going to be even worse.
Even worse,
And,
yeah.
no offense to any of the departments, but not all cases are not that they're not handled properly, but,
Mhm.
there's a lot of victims
Yeah.
that are murdered because of domestic violence, and
Mhm.
they try to get restraining orders, they try to get all these
Mhm.
different things, and it's such a process, and
Mhm.
sometimes you get denied. Like,
Yeah.
hell, I'll be honest, so I was part I was not the one who did it. I was the recipient, but I was part of a so-called domestic violence dispute,
Mhm.
and when I tried to get a restraining order, I was denied.
That's
I was
crazy.
denied.
Yeah. Mhm.
And like it's insane because this person literally put their hands around my neck and
Mhm.
slammed me into a wall. And
Mhm.
most people would have, I mean, I of course got pissed off, and that's a story for another day.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I tried to get a restraining order and they denied it.
That's crazy. I mean, I
Mhm.
feel like you should be able to get a restraining order against anybody you want. I mean,
Well,
if you don't
and even
within certain limits, like your property and stuff like that, yeah, you're
right.
not allowed. But
Well, and here what makes it even worse. When the cops were called, I drove to the police station. They let him drive to the police station on his own,
mhm,
put us in different rooms, questioned us, had us write statements, made me leave. And then once I was off the property, let him leave
that's crazy.
in his own car
Yeah.
within 20 minutes, an hour. You know what I mean? So
Mhm,
it's like,
yeah.
it, for the people who are truly terrified for their
Mhm,
lives in those situations,
yeah.
sometimes it's just not handled
Mhm,
properly.
mhm.
So
No,
that's
agreed.
why I think everything should be. And I mean, even with that, like literally got a slap on the wrist. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right, well,
Yep.
you know the story.
Yeah, I know the story. I know
You
exactly what
know the
you're talking
story.
about.
But I'm trying to be nice, polite,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
politically correct on here
Yeah.
without saying anything
Yep.
incriminating to myself.
Mhm. Well,
Anyways, anyways.
now my brain hurts a
So
little bit.
but you know what? These are all
But it was
questions that,
good. Yeah.
yeah, these are all things that we randomly talk about.
Mhm,
And I'm like, you know what? Let's just talk about it.
mhm,
Let's bring some things out.
mhm.
Let's talk about it. Let's see. Maybe it's
Yep.
interesting. Maybe this will not be one of the most interesting shows. We'll
Mhm.
see.
Yeah.
But at least it's
Maybe if we
fun and
got
we're
some people
not,
talking, yeah.
yeah, and we're not overloading people with crime
Mhm,
scene
mhm.
pictures and
Yeah.
videos.
and crazy stories of death
of
and
murder.
destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what topic would you like to see on the show? Or anybody watching, what topic would you like to talk about or have on the show in an upcoming episode?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, we talk about a little bit of everything. We've got different guests all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like a lot of times we just wait and see what kind of pops up. We're just, somebody's got something going on. They reach out to us. We're like, hey, well, come on, let's talk.
Yeah.
But like today, did you get the message? Did you watch the documentary? I sent you a link from CNN
Not
before
yet.
we got on. So
no,
I
was Hulk smashing computers.
there's a documentary from a few years ago, like one of those like mini series things on Netflix called the Texas Killing Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen it.
So it was basically these girls like just found in this field in Texas, and they ended up finding like multiple bodies there, but it went unsolved from like the 80s until actually just today they arrested somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was it because of the technology we have now and the testing that we have now?
Yeah. So the new DA in that area was like, I'm gonna go, take a look at some of these because they hadn't been touched in a while because they're cold. But because of new evidence and technology, they were able to, the guy that actually did the killing, he died already in prison.
He was in prison.
Basically what they think, but this guy was an accomplice, basically, the guy that they arrested. But like, I mean, like something like that where, things are constantly being checked and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just things are different because technology and a lot of these old cases. Like I'd love to be able to go back to, like the Alphabet murders one we did when they finally like actually get a suspect and like, like this is the guy that did it, because things like that aren't solved. Like there's so many, even some of the ones we have done, like the Ellen Greenberg one.
Well, the Golden Gate
changing. Yeah.
When they arrested or when they solved the Golden Gate, I was like,
yep.
What? And okay, so here I said one last question, but this is with the technology and stuff that we have now and the testing and all of that stuff, do you think we're going to see a decrease in like so-called serial killers? Because I think it's not going to be like it was before, where they can hide in the shadows. And, we have all the ancestry.coms and the this and the that. And even if their DNA is not in the system, doesn't mean a relative's not.
Yeah, I think.
So do you think we're going to see a decrease in serial killers as the years go?
I don't think so, because I still think people will be smart enough to kind of hide more of themselves, I guess, like take precautions with different things and use different things to hide themselves a little more. Like people like, obviously clothing, gloves, people are smarter now than probably back in the day, because back in the day you wouldn't think anything about, your fingerprint could give you away,
Yeah, but but there are cameras everywhere.
As technology evolves, people evolve. So
right. Well,
I mean, there's ways of disguising, taking your license plates off and like hiding things like that. There's different things you could do. People, I mean, just thinking military wise, like jammers and stuff that mess with electronic equipment. Like if there's a will, there's a way. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think honestly, when we try to think of different things to talk about, I was trying to come up with a newer, more recent serial killer. And I'm like,
I mean, if you want to get technical.
And I'm not talking like school shootings or anything like that.
That's where I was. You thought, that's where I was going. That's technically that's a serial killer too. So
it is a serial killer, but I'm thinking more of individual killings,
one at a time,
that are repetitive with the same ammo, the same everything. And I could not think of one that's recent, because most of them, it's not that it's a one and done, or it's a mass killing. So I've been trying to think of one. So if you think of one, let me know.
Like a recent one, yeah. I can't really think of too much. Yeah.
Anyway, I think this show has been fun.
Yeah.
We do have some exciting news. We do have a video to show before. It's just a tiny video, but it's before our outro. Do you want to talk about some exciting things that are coming up?
So what do we have? I mean, we have an episode just about done. That'll be coming out soon. I just kind of did the coloring on it, and I just got a few finishing touches after Mr. Tom checks it out, because he's our color guy, but he could kind of judge what I did to make sure I did a good job. So, but then I got to finish a couple little touch-up things like titles and stuff like that. So that'll be out soon. Hopefully, I would think by the end of the month. And then what is it? It is April. It is April now. So next month I don't think we have anything, but I know June 19th is the Creep It Real Fest in Pennsylvania, the southern Pennsylvania.
And we should have an episode that correlates.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm breaking stuff. Did you forget?
Maybe. I don't know if you told me.
Who is the organizer of Creep It Real? What do they own?
The Doss House. So that'll be another. So Dunkirk's the next episode.
Yeah.
That'll be this month, hopefully, and then if all goes according to plan, we'll have the Doss House out sometime in May, probably towards the end of May. Before that, so we'll have a couple weeks before that, and then we'll be heading back down that way. That's not so. The Creep It Real Festival is actually in the next town over, right? Then that's at the Old Stone Jail, if I'm remembering right. Right? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, we'll be there for that event. That'll be a fun one.
And then
I think
in
September, yes, and that's where this video comes in.
Yeah.
One of the guests, Ashley's been doing a lot of work for this event and has a video from one of the attendees, one of the bigger attendees, I would say, for the event that she could play.
One that I think Nate's a little excited about.
I'm excited for it. Well, I am a fan of the Halloween movies, and if anybody's ever seen the Rob Zombie iterations of Halloween, he was Michael Myers in those movies, the big tall guy. And another big one. I mean, people like the X-Men movie, the original, and then he was in the new Deadpool and Wolverine. He was Sabretooth in those movies too. So, he seems he's gonna be a fun trip, I think. So
yeah, I'm excited to meet him. He's been so sweet. Like working with and getting things situated. He's been really nice. There's going to be a lot of people at this convention. I'm not sure how much we're allowed to say yet, but there are some really great people. Very well-known people going to be at this convention.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. And there's going to be a lot of different things. There's going to be a pub crawl. There's going to be an investigation. There's paranormal. There's horror. There's metaphysical, urbex, cryptids. I mean, it's literally everything is going to be at this convention, and it's in a beautiful hotel, absolutely beautiful in Scranton, PA. So I think I'm really excited about it.
That should be a fun one.
Yeah. But with that, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sticking around with our random questions for Nate. And we don't have a show next week, but we will be back the week after that.
The week after, yeah.
So Nate, for people who cannot see this and maybe listening on Spotify, where can they find us?
Realm of Darkness. I mean, we're on, obviously this is YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. We're on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts now. We're on Amazon Music. We're on iHeartRadio. I think that's it. But we're pretty much everywhere. So wherever you want to listen to us, give us a listen. Yeah. I know a lot of people like the audio version because people are out on the. I listen to stuff in my car all the time, so just the way people are now. So we are more accessible than ever. You can listen to us or watch us whenever you want.
And if you ever want to see our beautiful faces, head over to YouTube. It's at Realm of Darkness 04.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's also where our episodes are, so you can head over and see those too. And I will say, Nate got a standing ovation from my son watching it last night. We got to
No.
preview the episode, and
Yes.
my son was yelling at the TV, screaming at things, saying, "Mommy, don't go in there. What are you doing? Was that a
love it.
ghost?" So
Mhm.
it was pretty cool to see
I
him
love
watch
it.
it. So he loved it. But until next time, we will see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hey. Underworld Culture Con, September 19th and 20th. I'm coming your way. At the Radisson and Lake Owane Station, Scranton, Pennsylvania, September 19th and 20th. We are gonna have some fun. See you then. Stay safe.